faces who I know for a long period and faces who I spoke with on internet and mobile phone. Best wishes for you and your family for 2024. We are still in the beginning of the new year, so first of all that. I don't want to announce the squad step by step because the squad is out since 2 days by CAF, but I would like to explain why we didn't announce this earlier, what our philosophy was on it. First of all, the idea was that we had agreement with you as media that we would announce the squad in front of the media so that you could ask questions. If we had sent by ourselves on internet a list of names, you would have felt again from, hey, the coach is avoiding questions, and I didn't want to avoid questions. You can ask me every question you want. I want to see you face to face, and that's the reason why I wanted to announce it in a press conference. Secondly, we also had a plan to delay it as long as possible for our opponents. There is no rule what says that you have to announce a squad in a certain period of time. CAF knew the list, the players knew the list already long, players who were not in the final squad knew the list, but in the media we didn't want to, not to punish you or the Gambians, but not to inform our 3 opponents too early. They will know now, but at least a week less time to prepare for them, to know who is in the final squad and to guess who will play. And last, it could happen that in the training camp people will drop out. We had even on the 1st of January 3 players playing in England. So before that we are 100% sure that all the 27 we selected would be available. We didn't want to give a list out to say then afterwards 2 players dropped out and another 2 came in. So that was the reasonable about it, that we didn't announce the squad earlier. Now the squad is out, and I think it's a very interesting squad. We have 27 players. 18 from the 27 players played last AFCON when we reached the quarter-final, and there are 9 players who are for the first time there. That's a lot. That's 33% debutants on Africa Cup football, but it shows also the development of our football. We have some players who were in the previous edition already in the qualifiers but didn't make the final squad, and we have some young talent, looking to Yankuba Minte and others, who popped up and who are now in the squad. Our squad is also the 8th youngest squad from 24 teams in AFCON. Our average age is 26.2, and there are 17 teams who are older than us, and there are only 7 teams who are younger than us. That's a few facts. I think that it's better that you ask now questions. You know the names. They are by CAF announced, and also the smart journalist published them already earlier and also saw the pictures. So shoot, and I'm ready to answer all your questions. Maybe good to say who you are and for which media you work, so that I also know.
Okay. Before we come to the questions, I appeal that we make it very orderly so that we will not be repetitive over each other's question. Just raise your hand, say who you are, and you ask the specific question, and we can move on. Lamin.
I am Lamin Pereira from Africa. My question is, we know December 14, CAF says that 55 players should be sent. You sent 43. And the rule also says 10 days before the tournament, all nations or participating teams will send their final 27. Now the 27 is not compulsory. We know 23 is compulsory, but you can add additional 4 depending on your necessity. I ask this question simply because the team announcement was delayed. It caused a lot of question mark being raised by a lot of journalists because we are in dilemma. And secondly, after people knew that the footages were out there for the public to see, don't you think it also brings so many distractions to the team by not announcing the list earlier?
No, because the players knew it already long before. There are WhatsApp groups between the players with all the 43 players. That's a little bit, for me, weird and strange to read stories from coach is not professional, the players don't know. All the players know it the dates, we were even 3 days before the final date that we had registered our 43. We had already registered our 27 a few days before the final date. We are done. Like I explained, we didn't inform the public for the 3 reasons I told you, but the players, they knew it already long in advance. We have a WhatsApp group with all 43 players who were in the squad. And when the moment was there to cut down the squad to 27, all the 43 minus 27, 16 players got personally a call from me to inform them that that person would be not in the final 27, but to be on standby because maybe something could happen, someone could be dropped out. And some players even called me back to ask reason why I'm not in the squad, and we discussed. And that's normal. The players were not distracted because the players knew it. It's only the public that didn't know it, but the players were always aware of it.
Can I have a follow-up?
Yeah, no problem.
Yes, because it's the outcry from the public that I'm trying to portray here. Because
But yeah, I understand the outcry from the public, but the public, we don't live anymore in a time where we buy a newspaper and the public read the newspaper and throw the paper away. We live in a time of internet when the public knows, the opponent knows. And we are professionals and you want to win, but you would prefer that now I'll tell you already the first 11, and that I tell you already the public want to know who's going to play, because I see on the internet which 3 strikers are going to play, and I see on the internet how we have to play. Football is about strategy. Senegal played yesterday a different system with 3-4-3 compared to the systems they played the previous. Maybe it was to misguide us. Maybe Aliou Cissé got play 4-3-3. So football is not only about the public. Football is there on the 15th of January, on the 19th of January, and the 23rd of January. Try to get the best performances on the pitch to get a good result. And yes, we are there to inform the public. Otherwise, I would not have invited you here.
how does that make you feel after the final release was announced by CAF?
I have no problem with that because it was no surprise. I was happy the final list was exactly the same as my final list.
Thank you. Yes.
Good evening. I am Michael from Star TV. As you make it very clear during your explanation that we can ask any question we want to. And as journalists, our responsibility is to give correct and accurate information to the general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you set more like the reason why the boys did not turn out?
Someone get a phone call from his wife.
Thank you.
Okay. It's a very complex answer. I'm first of all disappointed that the boys are not here. I think the public who was here waiting for a long period and arranged a fantastic atmosphere deserve to say farewell to the boys. And for me, it was a surprise that the players didn't show up. I knew there was something going on, but before I left the hotel together with my coaching staff, there was a clear agreement that we would train at 6:30. The delay was because of the diplomatic passport, the meeting with the head of state, and that was out of our control. We ate only at 5 o'clock for the first time after breakfast, so the delay was not in our hands. But there was an agreement that the players would come. And when I was here together with my coaching staff, the moment I was in the dressing room preparing what we would put on the pitch, the cones and everything, I got a call from the captain to say that the team, the players, didn't want to come. I have asked to come for the fans. I have asked to come, even if you don't train, to come greet the fans. But the captain had to inform me that the team, the players, and not the captain himself, because the captain was maybe in a different opinion than the team, but that I cannot comment because that you have to ask people individual. Yeah, the team had decided not to come, and I was hoping, because there was some lobby going on when we were here with other people to get the players here, and I was hoping they would come, but finally didn't come. So, and now you ask me why. I don't want to go too much in details, but there are certain things not settled, and the players and also the staff are not really happy with that. It has to do with respect for the performances you do and agreements you made months ago. And the players hope and the staff hope that that gets settled as soon as possible.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, I am Bajika Umar of Koraita. Well, tactically, stats have indicated that your last two results, competitive matches, were absolutely very poor, and Gambians don't set any idea to it. It has no way to it. So, like, what are some of the possible options do you put on the table as you are sitting for the Gambians to see that your three competitive matches in AFCON finals against Senegal, Guinea, and Cameroon would be dealt with?
Yeah. Yes, we played not the best game. I think we didn't see each other after that. We played against Burundi the first 15 minutes. We had two open goal chances, one with Ibrahima Colley and one with Musa Barrow. If we score that, we win these matches easy. Against Ivory Coast, we underperformed maybe less. I think Burundi was not a good game, but Ivory Coast was a decent game. But Ivory Coast was stronger than us, and they could score just before halftime and just before the end of the game. We had a scoring chance in the 68th minute by Musa Barrow, a header for an open goal where he could score the equalizer, but we didn't do it. I think that we have to understand we are 126 in the world. I know since I'm here, I remember the time that I arrived at Gambia, didn't win for 5 years, but that we lost from Togo and stones were thrown and bottles were thrown at us. The impression of Gambia is that we need to win every game. That's fantastic. That's what I love. But realistically, it's not the world of football. Also, Brazil lose games, and we can also lose. Things were going not so good in the last 12 months. We had played 29 games before this AFCON qualification till Cameroon. From the 29 games, we won 48%. And after that, we played 12 games and we won 33%. We won 4 games, we drew 4, and we lost 4. So bad it isn't. We tried, since AFCON was done, to play more offensive. Something maybe what you journalists don't see, but what the instructions are with wingbacks coming up. We finished against Burundi with 7 offensive players on the pitch, but it didn't result in scoring more goals, neither creating more chances. So we analyzed what went wrong, and in our selection, therefore, we called certain different players up. But I don't want to tell you now how we're going to play, because again, then I'm informing my opponent what we're going to change. So I prefer to say that we're going to play exactly the same as against the other games, and then we will see it. But we analyzed it. We were not satisfied. We hate losing. If you don't lose in 5 years and a half, if you are winning more than losing, then losing is always painful. So we were not satisfied, and we felt very sorry for the Gambian public that we lost both games.
Coach, I have a follow-up question to.
Yes,
I have a follow-up question to Mbaye's question regarding the players not so important.
Yeah.
My name is Landin Sise from Kerfato. The question is, you made mention of a diplomatic passport discussion at the State House. The rumor going around is that players refuse to come because of an unpaid bonus. Is that the reason that the captain of the team informed you about? Why
if there are issues not cleared, then money issue probably is the issue. I mean, if you qualify, if you become champion with Walidan, or if you become champion in 3rd league or 7th league in Denmark, then there are incentives and players expect it, and that's normal everywhere. So yes, it's a money issue, but I'm not here sitting as the representative of the players. I'm sitting here as the coach, clear. But you better ask details on the captain and on the players, or on the people involved on the other side of the table, government and federation, because they can give you better answers than me.
Thank you.
I'm only a simple coach.
Sir, yes.
I'm Sanfeit from Coach, we knew you surprised your opponents the last time around, and one can say it was down to very, very good preparation. This time around, it is not the most ideal preparation. We understand you guys were stranded at Morocco for some hours. Here you are, issues of unpaid bonuses, rumors of issues on unpaid bonuses. still lingering around. And as a coach, what do you think, or how would this poor preparation in quotation would affect the team? And my second question is in regards to our first opponent, Senegal. We all know a lot of people are very critical of the approaches that you make, but we have weapons in order to hurt everybody that we face against. Senegal currently are having issues in their both left and right backs because Ismail Jacobs fine is a fine left back, but he's not the best in terms of defensive solidity. And on the other hand, there is always another player that is also used as the right back, who is not naturally as the right back, the player who plays for Monaco.
Yeah.
Yes, and other than that, their back four as well, generally they also have issues because Nahati is a new inclusion and all. And with the three players that we have up front, whether it is Minte, whether it is Ibrahim Okoli, their speed can hurt anybody. As a coach, what are some of the things that you can promise us so that we can be excited on that?
First of all, the preparation actually is not what you want. We were planned to go 27 December on training camp. That was the date that everyone was as prepared. My family, my wife and daughter, my daughter had school holiday, so they went 28 December to their family in London, so that they didn't have to sit alone for New Year's evening. On the end, I was sitting home alone for New Year's evening, and my family was with family. So we lost 5-6 days in preparation, but I have to say that we had a fantastic training camp. Hotel was top, training ground was good. We worked very hard, players worked very focused, and we had a very good group atmosphere, so I'm quite happy with that. We had a long trip in previous qualifications when we played Gabon, when we played Angola, DR Congo. We had chartered planes transporting us. That was disqualification also not. When we were in Qatar in training camp, we had a charter plane bringing us to the Gambia. That was this year also not possible. So we left Sunday. We left Sunday Gambian time around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the hotel. We drove 2 hours to the airport, flew 4 hours to Istanbul, stayed 6 hours in Istanbul airport, walking around. We flew 5.5 hours to Casablanca, walked around 7 hours, and flew again 4 hours to be here. And we slept 3 hours, and then we had to go for passports and meetings and giving training sessions, and I'm facing you now. So I since Saturday night, I slept 3 hours, and that's it. I slept in the plane, and I snored a little bit, but not much. But that's, it's not optimal. But friends of me say always, how worse the preparation, how better the tournament, so I'm very positive. Secondly, you talk about how weak Senegal is in the defense, but you talk about the number 20 in the world, a team where the whole team play in top teams in Europe. So I think it's not showing any realistic idea of how strong Senegal is on such a tournament. Even if players are maybe not the best in the world, they play in France, they play in England, okay, some of them in Saudi Arabia, but these are giants. They played World Cup second round. They are African champion with these weak players, according to some people. So I think it would be very disrespectful and very wrong to talk about Senegal as a not so good team. They are one of the strongest teams with one of the best coaches in African football. Aliou Cissé has done a tremendous job over many years and proven tactically always to be ready. And it will be a very tough task for us to get points against them. Gambia won in 1966 and 1973, a friendly, and for the rest never. So there's a reason why they are that big and they are strong. We have answers, yeah, but if I can play with 7 strikers, that's possible, and then probably we score 3 goals, and we can score and we concede 14 goals, and that's Nawatan football. We can do that, or we can play professional football and try to beat them like we always try to beat opponents. But you mentioned Ibrahim Akoli, but Ibrahim Akoli cannot play. He had 2 yellow cards. That's also something what's ridiculous. Abdullah Jallow and Ibrahim Akoli can't play. And it's totally unfair because we played 8 games, 2 against Chad, 6 in the qualification. Cameroon, one of our opponents, played 4 qualifiers, had no pre-qualification, and had only 2 opponents in the qualification. Namibia, South Africa had only 4 qualifier matches. So why you count yellow cards, who you got? One player, I think Ibrahim Akoli got the yellow card against Chad, and he got the yellow card against Congo Brazzaville, and he can't play. And Abdullah Jallow, same, can't play. So we missed 2 important players, but we have still 25 top other players, and we know some of the, don't call it weaknesses, but some of the possibilities for us to create opportunities against them, and hopefully, inshallah, we can use that. And we have quality players also, and I'm convinced that we're going to make it them very difficult. They are the favorite, and allow me to give them the favorite role. They allow me to make them the big team, because it makes it easier for us to surprise them, as what we did in previous big games.
Thank you. We'll take a few, maybe 3 more questions.
Yeah, I have more
Gajaga,
time.
yes?
I'm not tired yet.
You're not tired?
Coach, Momodu Gajaga, QTV. My question is regards to 2 players. So there's one Yusuf Bob, and the other player is Suleiman Mar. These have been very strong players in our previous AFCON. The one in Cameroon had a very good role in their respective positions. But recently, they don't have a club.
Yeah.
They've not played competitive football for a very long time. So why are they in the squad?
Yeah, fully understand your question. And we have naturally also Ibrahima Darbu, who was long out. He plays and he has a club, but similar situation. But Sulma Mari, 5 months without club. Yusuf about 1.5 years without club. And it's not optimal. The reason that we considered to call them back, and then I have to look to you, was the poor performances we had. I mean, when you concede goals, you can blame the goalkeeper, you can blame defenders, but you can also analyze games and check where it go wrong. And in our philosophy, the change of midfield, because don't forget we talk about Ibrahima Darbu, Yusuf Abob, Sulma Mari, but we lost also Ibrahima Sona and Mohamed Mbai, who in the first 4 years or 3 years were regular possibilities in the midfield. We lost them all in a short period of time, and so we thought that it could be maybe good to bring them back. We spoke with them, we checked them out, and in the camp we are very positive about their physical shape. We are very positive about their attitude, and it doesn't matter, maybe they don't play the matches or immediately, but they have also the experience and the important role to the group. We have 9 people who didn't play AFCON. That's already a big group. We were a little bit worried if you have too many players, we're going to play not the easy AFCON game. Senegal is going to be full house. Every Gambian want to play against Senegal, but the stress will be also huge. So we want some experience. And we're facing Guinea, who want revenge, and facing Cameroon, whoever we want to take revenge. So we need that experience. So the reason we called them back, and I fully understand the question mark and even the criticism about it, was really that we thought, based on what we saw the last months in our team, that we lack that experience, that we have at the moment not really players who can do that. We have Mamadou Bacho, who is developing very good in Slovakia, but who had no chance to play yet in the first team because we had no friendlies in 2023. And remember when we went in the past to 2021, we went to, or 22, we went to 21 it was. We went to Turkey and played 3 friendlies. We went different destinations and played friendlies. And young players like James Gomez, like Ibrahima Darbu, they got all their debut. And I could see, can they do it and do they understand it? But in 2023, we had never a friendly. So it's a little bit sad that we couldn't develop these young guys to see if they are ready for it. And I didn't want to take the risk. So we fell back to the experienced guys.
Yes, Coach.
No, one more. Yes,
Yeah,
no problem. No problem.
Yeah, this one in short and also in summary. You talked about the reason why you brought them, but also if you factor their mind sharpness, because you need game time to be playing regularly. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, to be honest, the training feeling from two of the three is very good. I don't want to mention which two, but two of them look really ready to be able to play. One, I don't think is ready to play. But we also, how many times I could criticize the last years when I selected Ibrahima Solna or when I selected Pamudu when he had no club. And when the moment was there, he always could count on them because they know what tactically is demanded and they will die for the country and they will give everything for this nation to perform. And match fitness is huge and important, but the heart for the team and the tactical understanding of the game is also very important. So it's not optimal, but it's in our eyes at this moment the best solution.
Thank you. Sane, we have two more questions to go.
Yeah, but there are more.
Yes, William Sane from DRTS.
Yes.
It's more of like a follow-up question to him. How would Trump treat their life after Suleiman Mare and other players that are not having a club to integrate the young ones? Example, Mahmoud Bajo into the team.
Yeah. Like I said, now we can't integrate them because we have a very big tournament. You integrate young players mostly in friendlies. Yankuba Minte got in 2022 his debut against Guinea-Bissau in Turkey. He didn't play his first game in September against Congo. He played already against Guinea-Bissau. That's what you do. You play friendlies and you develop your team and you give young players chance. 72 players got a call up in my national team, 36 for the first time. A lot of players made their debut. Look back, Musa Barros, Ibrahima Collis, so many other players got their first call up and made their debut. So I'm not afraid to go for young players even if they didn't play for clubs. But you need also the chance to give them the opportunity. And I hope that the experience of Suleiman Mare, Yusuf Bob, Ibrahima Darbu, even if he's young, but he had played on a high level, I hope that their experience can help the team. But on the long term, looking to after AFCON, we have a lot of young talent. Mamadou Badjo is one of them, but Adama Bojang, Sanyangs, and other players, depending how they develop in the club, it would be nice to see them in the future getting opportunities in friendlies and let our under-20 talent, but also other talent, giving some opportunities to show their quality. But in this short period of time, without having friendlies before and having so much tough opponents in such a big tournament, we fell back on that experience. So at the moment, we can't develop the guys who are not there, but we are also not playing a tournament to develop. We are playing the biggest tournament on African soil. So hopefully we can develop afterwards.
Osman?
Yes,
Osman, yeah.
Tom, looking at the opponents that we have faced during the AFCON, have you identified key players in those teams that needs special attention for defensive approaches to deal with those players?
Yeah, it's also dangerous. I mean, you can talk about Mane and you can talk about Koulibaly and you talk about Mendy and you talk. I mean, Senegal, the whole team are key players. With all respect, but it's a fantastic team. You can't mention one. They have so many quality players, and I don't think we need to focus on one player. We need to focus on a good strategy to stop their quality. Because if you focus on one, imagine you would make man-to-man marking to Mane, then you lose one other player. And they have a lot of infiltrations from the midfield. They have a lot of swaps in position. So you would give freedom on another spot, and that you want to avoid. What doesn't mean, I'll use to say that maybe we play man-to-man. But so we know their strength, but we like to play as a team to stop that strength. And we know also, and now look there to some weaker points of them, and we believe that we're going to have chances to score also goals against them. And it depends. In top football is decided not for what you do good, but what you don't do wrong. If we don't make a mistake, we don't lose. Then it's a boring 0-0. But if they make a mistake and we can utilize that mistake, we can win that. And that we did against Tunisia, that we did against Mauritania, that we did against Algeria, against Morocco, against Mali, and hopefully, inshallah, we can do that again. So Guinea, because now we spoke a lot about Senegal. Guinea is for me maybe the most dangerous team in our group. They beat Cameroon, Nigeria yesterday or day before yesterday, but not because of that. Mentally, everyone thinks Guinea is the weakest, but with Kira said, top scorer in Bundesliga, and a team who want revenge after us. We played them twice. We played them in a friendly in Marrakesh in 2019 and won 1-0, and we played them in Bafoussam in last 2 years ago, and we won also 1-0. So we need to also be very focused in that. And Cameroon stays a giant. So we need to calculate. We don't need to win every match. Inshallah, we win every game. But Comoros and Tunisia went further with 3 points. And I'm 100% sure if you would get 4 points that you are through. So let's be smart. Let's be not naive. Let's respect our opponent, because I don't want to be the coach like previous coaches who face us and who said, Gambia is not serious, we can beat them, we know their tactics and that they didn't win against us. So I like to respect our opponents, and we are the small ones. We are 126, the smallest team in AFCON. All the other teams are better ranked than us on the FIFA ranking. And Guinea is 80, Cameroon is 46, and Senegal is 20. So we are the small ones, but we are always small. A lion is big, a lion is strong, but the scorpion has a lot of poison.
Can we take a final question? Yes.
Sir Tom, looking at your defensive formation.
Which media are you?
From the Voice newspaper.
Your name?
Mbaz.
The Voice. Okay. Yeah.
The Voice, yes.
Looking at your defensive formation, sir, many a times people accuse you of losing to your opponent because you defend and you don't allow your players to come out, knock the ball around, and create accurate passes. So this time around, what will you do?
The funny thing is that you talk like that, but how do you know that? Did you see the video analysis? Did you see the PowerPoint presentation? Were you in the tactical meeting? Did you ever follow any of my tactical meetings? Did you ever hear me telling my players, now we're going to defend, now you are not allowed to attack, now you are not allowed to pass? Against Burundi, the 2 wingbacks were requested to attack from the start. Against Burundi, we started with 6 offensive players in the midfield and in the attack. Against Burundi, the game plan was to attack. And if 2 players score in the first 10-15 minutes the goals, we win that game and you celebrate. But it goes wrong, and Burundi comes back and scores the goals we don't score, and we lose. And then everyone, it's a little bit so from silly Tommy's defense. So when we lose, it's because of the defense. But you even didn't hear the tactical meeting. So let me say, the 60 years before my arrival, you never defended. How many times you won? How many qualifications you had? So let me be that terrible defensive coach and winning. I prefer that. You tiki-taka, everyone can play. If I go here to Combo Beach, kids are playing tiki-taka, grown up. That's what you do everywhere, in every corner, playing tiki-taka. Tiki-taka is the easiest football in the world. That's playing the ball around for fun. And you win 7-4 or you lose 7-4. But tiki-taka and winning on this level, even Manchester United can't do that. Even Real Madrid can't do that. And even Manchester City needs 5 years to do it and win the Champions League. So why we claim that we are the Brazil of Africa and need to play nice football, let's not focus on winning. And we didn't win against Burundi. And you can be angry for that, and you can say, Coach, we didn't win against Burundi and against Ivory Coast. We want to win. But don't go there and say, yeah, but it's because he doesn't allow them to attack. There's never a team who... I never ask a player to attack. If Ablaye Diallo has to defend, it's not because I ask it, but because the opponent forced him to defend. I prefer that Ablaye Diallo score goals, not to defend. But if it makes you happy to blame me, blame me. Already 5.5 years, and I keep on winning, so inshallah we win more.
Thank you.
More.
Thank you. Yes, Pa. Maybe last question. Right?
My name is Pablo from Aguilera. We have 2 very important demands in the group stage. That is Cameroon and Nigeria. And we are facing a very difficult opponent, one of the biggest rivalry as far as the Gambia football is concerned. This is the Carolina from Senegal and the How prepared are you mentally, physically, from the team setup in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Even though you could not get the best of the plan that you definitely have. But how prepared mentally, physically, from your team setup going into the post game on the 15th?
It's always dangerous to be convinced about your qualities and then get knocked down. Before the Burundi game, I was very prepared and very convinced we would beat Burundi, and on the end we lost it. So let me say that before we started the camp, I was very skeptical. Also because the camp didn't start when I wanted it. We had a lot of issues. Also the questions about what with Sulman Mari, what with Yusuf Abob, what with Ibrahima Darbu. I took a risk with calling them before the camp. And when we started the camp and I saw the faces of the players and I saw how they worked together and the intensity on training, we had some intense loads, some physical loads because we had to prepare them physically, but we had also tactical loads. And you saw the development and the way they executed on training. My skeptic feeling changed in a very positive feeling. But I'm scared of that because before Burundi I was also very positive. I'm not worried. I'm not afraid of Senegal. I'm not afraid of Guinea. I'm not afraid of Cameroon. I respect them. I think they are giants in football. All three countries are fantastic football nations. All three countries have brilliant players, and all three countries have a fantastic coach. But the Gambia also. And the Gambia, they call it the group of death. Yeah. And why they call it the group of death? Because of the big three, but also because of the big four. Every team hates to play against Gambia. Every team hates that number 4 in the pot is Gambia, and they don't like to play against us. It will be more tough. When I said it will be tough to surprise them, some journalists said in the media, how can the coach say that? We cannot surprise because everyone knows our surprise already. If we win, it's not a surprise anymore. Surprise means something you don't expect. But now people expect something from us. So surprise we can't do. But I hope and I'm convinced that we will be ready physically, mentally, tactically to do everything to make it difficult for these opponents. Maybe we don't win 7 points, but the goal is to stay in AFCON also after the group stage. And then we will see what are the opponents. And we need to win a game and inshallah to draw a game, and we will be there. And I know that the players are ready for it and that we are ready for it. So I have now, at this moment of time, facing you, knowing the knowledge I have, a very positive feeling.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much, guys.
One thing more? Okay?
Your protocol guy is here.
Okay.
Alaji Marong.
Okay.
Coach.
Alaji Marong say,
yes.
He's my boss, I have to go.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank